What's up, guys? Scotty here with Willball for Soup, and I'm giving you another paintball life story. One of the most common questions I get on Instagram, besides, yo, should I get an invert mini, is when the next paintball life story is gonna drop. I get a ton of requests for these, and I love telling them to you. So this life story happened about 3 years ago, and as soon as it happened, I recorded a video about it. But looking back at that video, it was so ranty. It was so fresh. The pain was fresh. And I don't want to present this event in that lens. I want to look back, analyze what happened, analyze what led up to what happened, and then the fallout after. So if you guys want to strap in, this is going to be a banger, and it's very personal to me. I ended up losing a lot of friends when this thing wrapped up. But time heals all, and now I have a clear head. I can look back and I can tell the story fair, balanced, and open. We had about 10 people involved with this program, and depending on who you asked, I was either the 8th, 9th, or 10th best player. I wasn't going to be a starter for this team. What was likely going to happen was I would come off the bench, or I wouldn't even make an event roster, but I sure as hell tried. What one of the starting players would tell me is like, dude, you're the Chad Yaya Boucher of our team. You're like just good enough to be here, but you're not really like good enough to get a whole lot of points. And this is kind of back when Yaya was kind of riding the bench for Houston Heat. So the analogy made sense, but it didn't really make me feel good inside. Despite being one of the least talented members of this team, I still wanted to be a part of it, mainly because our players were so talented. They were making me better. So I grew and developed, playing on the second line, playing those bench spins. It really made me a better player, seeing higher end players, seeing people who knew more about paintball on the field than I did. And also, our front players were so talented. When you have a gifted front player, it makes your job so easy as a back player. You get the communication, you get the zones, but when the front player is just tearing things up, I was able to attack through the middle of the field, close games, or at least try to, and I got a lot better. I didn't really last that long because of what happened, and we're getting there. We're getting to the juicy drama, trust me. But I got better with the time I spent with these guys, and I don't regret that at all. While it was a special experience to play with such talented players, it felt great. What felt awful was I was dealing with a lot of bullying just being a part of this team. For example, I would be in my bathroom taking a deuce, taking a number 2, and the boys would be in my den watching footage that I filmed of the team for free. And I'd come out, finish my deuce, and one of our guys would just ramp his gun at me with no paint in it, just shooting air, scaring the ever-living daylights out of me. It was not fun because I put up with this bullying just to be a part of this roster. I was always the butt of every single joke. And people tell you if you're a younger guy like junior high, high school, that when you get older, bullying stops, it gets better, it's gonna get better. No, bullying exists well into your 20s, guys. I hate to say it, it's kind of grim, but that's just a fact of life. I never had the budget to pay somebody to film me. So what I would do when I was on this team was I would play a weekend, I would film a weekend. I would play a weekend, I would film a weekend. And the footage I got of the team, we would sit down and we would analyze it together and use it to get better. So maybe I wasn't contributing at the same level as some of our starters were to wins and losses, but I was contributing as a positive force in the locker room and as a coach. If you've ever had to make the difficult decision to leave a paintball team, go down in the comments and let me know why. Once you do that, and you're following me on Instagram at Willball for Soup, you will be entered into the Enjoy Paintball giveaway. Enjoy Paintball is a paintball lifestyle clothing brand ran by NICO HYDE of Houston Heat. Enjoy Paintball makes long sleeves, tees, other gear like that to show your love for paintball. The vibes that this company has really click with the vibes that I'm going for here on my channel. So they hooked me up with some merch for me, and they're also providing the merch that we're giving away in this video. So I'm on the sidelines filming my team, and one of our center attackers has a fat loader hit, and everybody on the sideline saw it. What happens in scrimmages sometimes is the reffing is nowhere near the level of reffing you're going to get at an event. And the refs were just completely blind. So this fatty loader hit he had right on the nose of his hopper. He wasn't getting pulled out by the refs, but people on the sidelines were like, dude, is somebody gonna pull him? Is somebody gonna pull him? If you've seen my videos on cheating, you know my stance. There's really no moral right or wrong in the decision to wipe a hit. I know that's controversial. I know you Woods Ball warriors are pretty mad at my stance on this, but if you are shot, either go out or attempt to get that hit off of you. Go wipe it. I don't give a shit, man. Cheating is a part of paintball. I know you people are mad, but you haven't seen the divisional grind the way I have. It's a part of the game. There's obviously a risk reward to it, right? If you get caught cheating, it's a penalty. But if you cheat clean, you can prolong your life and win more points. And it happens way more often than a lot of you think. Our center attacker gets shot again, and then he exits the field. I put the viewfinder of my camera down and I walk up to him and I'm like, Kyle, did you not feel that giant hit on your loader for the past 1 minute of your life in this point? He's like, what are you talking about? I didn't get shot. I didn't get shot until the end. I'm like, Kyle, here. So I take his gun, I put his gun up and I point to it. I'm like, this is the loader hit you were playing with in that point. If this were to happen at a tournament, you would get a red flag. This was dumb, you're smarter than this, you're better than this, and it was really sloppy of you to either not wipe the hit or not go out of the field. And Kyle was embarrassed when I called him out like this. I think a part of it was because he was better at paintball than I was. Because this was going down on the sidelines, the team we were scrimmaging heard me call out Kyle. And they were all snickering. They were like, yeah, you're a cheater, dude. Like, you gotta go out when you're shot like that. That's a huge hit. And Kyle was upset. And he was like, Scotty, shut your mouth. If you don't shut up, I'm gonna blast you. I'm like, what? You're gonna blast me because I called you out for being a dumb cheater? Like, either go out, wipe the hit, one of the two, don't continue to play because you're jeopardizing our team. He's like, I want you to stop right now. Shut your mouth right now, dude. So he points his marker at me. I have my camera in one hand. I don't have a marker. So he's pointing his marker at me as I'm bitching him out for his sloppy play. And I keep going. I'm like, I'm not gonna back down from this guy. I'm gonna teach him a lesson that this was a really bad point and he messed up. And if this were to go down in an event, it would be bad news for everyone involved. I was trying to turn it into a teaching lesson, but he wasn't really being receptive to what I had to tell him. Kyle had it with being called out. He took aim and shot me twice. Once in the same arm that was holding my camera and once in the chest. I did not have my marker. I just had a camera. So what I did was I set my camera down and I chased after him, looking to fight him, looking to pummel him, because what he did, shooting me with a camera, was dumb and risky. The level of disrespect that I was receiving from everybody involved in this team boiled over in that moment. That was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I was ready to start swinging. Kyle, of course, ran away, and the team held me back. They were holding me back as I was screaming. I remember when I was screaming, I was yelling, square up, Kyle! Square up, man! Square up! I know, that's the Scotty scream. I'm a back player, so I can get pretty loud. So I was yelling at him to meet me in the parking lot, and we were gonna fight. I was totally down to just smack this guy across the face. But Kyle ran away, the team held me back, and the fight never materialized. That night, I made a Facebook post on my wall calling out the team for a lack of discipline, maturity, and leadership. I stated in that post that I would be leaving the team effective immediately, and I would be looking for a new crew to join up with, one that values me for who I am and what I can contribute, no matter what my talent level. The moral of the story is that no matter where you are in paintball, if you're playing D1 or D6, if you're playing in the woods or if you're playing for fun, if the people who are surrounding you are not treating you with the same level of respect that you're treating them, by all means, walk out the door and find a new crew. Find people who value you. Find people who respect you. And if they're not holding up their end of a solid mutual level of respect, walk out that door and do what's best for you. What's sad about this whole thing is that Kyle and I were friends for about 8 years before this went down. And since this went down, I haven't said a single word to him. He's been ghosted. This dude is dead to me. The dynamic of our friendship changed when he realized that he was better at paintball than I was. And I was just sick of that being the basis for our entire relationship. If you have a friendship where it's just based on, you're better than me. I'm always better than you. I'm always gonna talk down to you. That's just not healthy, man. So I encourage everybody out there who's being spoken down to, who's being disrespected, to walk away and find people who treat you better no matter where you are in this scene. After I made that Facebook post, I was quickly picked up by a lower divisional team where I was a starter. And we ended up matching up with my former team at a tournament. I may have spoken about this in a previous video, but we ended up taking the win and my previous team got sent home. They got limbed. I got my revenge. Now, as far as me and Kyle, he wanted to talk to me after a practice and maybe see if we can become friends again. And I was willing to talk to him, but I wasn't willing to be his friend again. I said, Kyle, I'm totally down to talk to you. Let's meet up after this practice in the parking lot. Let's just get what we have to say off our chest. But I'm gonna say this right now, before I go back to practicing with my new team. We're not gonna be friends again. And instead of having a conversation on why we can't be friends again in the parking lot, Kyle hid in his car. Now, I really am conflicted about the other people on the team, because obviously when I called them out for having poor leadership, poor organization, poor discipline, they turned on me. And were they responsible for how Kyle acted? No, but they were responsible for creating a toxic culture within this team. It's no surprise that despite all the talent they had, this team only lasted maybe 2 seasons and they quickly imploded. Now, time has healed these wounds. Some of these guys on this team were slowly building back our friendship. Maybe not friendship, but we're tolerating each other, we're communicating. As far as Kyle left Paintball, and I don't know what he's up to right now, man. Maybe he'll watch this video, maybe he won't, I really don't care. All right, guys, this concludes that life story. This one was a heavy one. It's pretty emotional for me to talk about the loss of a very close friend over what happened in the paintball scene. But this is Scotty with Will Ball for Soup, signing out.